Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jeff Faviano. We're checking out the gameplay trailer here, and we're going to be doing a breakdown. This is the trailer that was released yesterday while they are at X019, that convention, with a playable demo they've been showing off to people. We're going to talk a little bit about that in a little bit. Opening scene here, very similar to what we saw in the first trailer of flying through the clouds, and here we are flying over Spain, looking beautiful, showing off the Cub in a mountain valley, and we can see how that low-level fog there is behaving, and it looks fantastic. Here's the Neo flying over some clouds. Beautiful shots. I love these air-to-air shots it has. There's the ocean. Nothing to say other than amazing. The Icon A5 is another airplane that we saw in the first trailer, just a glimpse of it, and now we get an external there, and 172 flying through a valley here. Might be a 182. Pretty sure it's a 172. Citation CJ4. So yes, business jets are a thing. They will be in the sim right out of the gate. We've got the Neo again, TBM. And I've got to say, please go watch the original trailer. It will be linked in the description below. You got to see the editing to the music and all that. It's a fantastic trailer, and I don't want to take away from that. Some aerobatics being displayed here in the airplane we've seen before. And here is New York City. We can see how alive that atmosphere is. Here's the Diamond flying through various landscapes, and we see some Cirrus Clouds, and here's the big reveal, the Boeing 748i, the International. This thing is beautiful. It's got the AS on the back, so we know Asobo's making it, and there we are greeted with the Microsoft Flight Simulator logo. So Xbox jump in. For those of you that don't know, Microsoft basically does all their games and everything that they release under the Xbox name for PC. This will be a PC title before it ever goes to console, but they do have a time frame that after the PC release, there will be a console version, which is awesome. We talked about that previously in the last video. So, captured in real-time 4K once again. What does this all mean? This means they're capturing this in the actual sim. We're seeing pre-alpha footage, believe it or not. This sim is gorgeous. Regardless, let's go ahead and start stepping through a little bit here. There was a playable demo at X019, and that is something we're going to talk about after we do our little bit of breakdown here. We got a lot of information there from somebody who's actually had hands-on. Now, I have done the whole signing up for the Tech Alpha. I've been selected for Tech Alpha 1, and I'll automatically be selected for Tech Alpha 2. Don't have it yet, but hopefully in the next week or so, maybe I'll have a playable version. Here we are greeted with this shot. I love this shot. This is showing off the volumetric clouds in the sim, and it's something that we saw in the first trailer, but here we are again, really showing off the clouds and just what it's like to break out of them. And that's absolutely beautiful. We get a nice overview here. I love the lighting in this shot. The different levels, what's the 32 layers of clouds they can draw up. We've got them, casting shadows on each other. We can see that huge front system on the right over there. That looks amazing. Just gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. It's a pretty established shot. It hangs here for a little bit. We're going to actually play it in real time, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's there for a while. They're like, yeah, we know. It looks good. Here we are in Spain. I think this is Vigo, Spain. And we're flying overhead here in the TBM, and we can see right here how they're taking that Azure AI and they're creating these buildings based off of the satellite imagery, and it's absolutely stunning to see it. We can see the beach line over there on the left. And folks, I mean, when you see that this is out of the box, it blows your mind. You're like, wow, because we have to do ortho scenery stuff for X-Plane and prepared and stuff like that. They're even, there's a lot of limitations with those sims on what they can do. And if this is out of the box, we're in for a huge, huge treat, which we already know that this is coming basically right out of the gate. So here's the next shot. We're in that, I think it's a Carbon Cub, but it is flying in this valley. And if you're into bush flying, this simulator is what it's all about, man. They're all about, that low-level experience. The GA experience is such a big thing in this sim this time around because you can do so much of VFR navigation. You can use the ground to navigate. You can do Dead Reckoning and things like that. Here's a nice shot of that Cub making that left turn. We see that tail number there. That's Alpha Sierra X-Ray Charlie Uniform Bravo. That is, the AS is no longer a speculation. Last time we were like, we don't know if it's Aerosoft or who's involved in building these airplanes. It's Asobo, who is actually making all the airplanes in the sim so far. And here's the X-Cub making that left turn, looking beautiful. And here we are greeted with the shot looking at the left wing of that Cub. And this is kind of showing off the remote areas. A lot of people were wondering, how are they going to make remote areas look as good as something that's a cityscape that, say, Bing Maps, is giving you data for. And it's using the satellite imagery, and it's creating these trees and these amazing waterways. It looks so good. And we can see the wing coming up here, and we'll see the aileron in motion right at the end of the shot as it comes up right there. Next shot here, we have the Airbus Neo. And it looks amazing, of course. I love this shot because it shows the shape of the A320's nose. And to me, they nailed it. It doesn't look weird. In the previous iterations of flight simulators that Microsoft has made, there's been some questionable looks to their airplanes, their default airplanes. These look spot on to the real thing. And I think that's what they really wanted to show off here, was that. I love this shot here because we're seeing that beacon light up, and I'm a huge lighting nerd. I talked about that last time, but they've really nailed the lighting on this sim, and you can really tell based off of, having that accurate lighting, and we'll get into the reasons why that is, but we can clearly see it is correct, and it looks great. That's that new LED strobe. It's not like just doing like a flash. It's just coming on and then turning off. And we can see it's starting to make its turn to the right now to get out of that left-hand turn. But what's cool about this is that you'll see it's either the camera moving around, but I'm fairly certain we can actually see those wings bobbling around. So that shows us those flight dynamics about how fluid it is. You're experiencing small amounts of turbulence, and you would down low next to these cloud layers here. And here's another shot, air-to-air shot. Absolutely gorgeous shot here as it's making its right-hand turn. And we can see upper level atmosphere stuff here. We can see those Cirrus Clouds. We can see just how many there are, and it seems to not be an issue at all. The ocean floor looks amazing here at the, in the shallow parts of like Keys and anywhere in the world that, has those kind of coral reefs. This looks amazing, and we can see that layer of the data of the satellite data underneath, and then the water is on top, and you can see those waves are just completely independent. It's not a static image at all. And now we're greeted with that Icon A5 amphibious airplane. It looks really, really cool. And this is another thing that I've noticed, like I've said, before, was that I almost think that they put the A5 in here and they went down the route of A5 because of Microsoft Flight. That was an airplane that was, was very, very iconic of of that time. And Microsoft Flight was a disappointment to a lot of simmers, and Microsoft knows that. So I think this is them saying, hey, check out the A5 in this amazing simulator, but look at how accurately this thing is modeled. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love the sun reflection on the water there. And again, we're seeing some things here. We're seeing like some sparse trees out in the distance there. And there's some things that we'll see in this trailer that are, definitely shows you that this is in-game. This is not, pre-rendered stuff. And here we are with this shot here. With that air-to-air, man, I'm really thinking that we're going to have a cinematic camera style option. Not sure if this was, pre-done for the trailer, but it does seem like there's going to be some really good cameras in this. And that makes sense. You have a beautiful sim. Why not show it off with cinematic cameras? Here we are on the 172 with the G1000 package, flying in a remote area, along a riverbank here. And this is something that's really cool to see because, again, people wondering how we're doing remote areas. This looks absolutely incredible. This is something you would pay for. today on any sim. Like, to have these kind of visuals, wow. And this is going to be by default right out of the box. So here we are greeted with the 172 that we just saw flying around. I love the shot down the bottom left. We see different levels of forestation. You've got, it kind of looks like some broken deforestation happening there with some broken style pine trees. And then we have some coniferous, like, I don't know, cedars or what those are over there. And those might be like baby pines or something. But we're seeing the different tree models. And that was something I noticed in this trailer immediately, was that it's not the same tree over and over and over again. And I love that the Azure AI seems to look at, and you can see where it's missing, like below. You can see where the tree line is located based off of the satellite imagery, and where the autogen is popping up and creating those tree lines. And I mean, it's not going to be perfect, of course, but I mean, that's a believable experience. You can't have every single tree. You wouldn't have a simulator running at the frame rates it does. Something I noticed immediately is here. I'm going to back it up a little bit. With the 172 package, this is really cool because on the right-hand side of this shot, you'll see on the wing, those are the new LED style lights that are prevalent on a lot of the new airplanes that are coming out. And you can see those individual LED bulbs up there. That looks really cool. We haven't seen them lit up yet, not in these shots, but we can tell that the G1000 package 172 will have all the brand new lighting on it, which is really cool. And in the back, you'll see the beacon lights up. It's a little off of where it's located. Remember, we're looking at pre-alpha footage, so anything's possible for things to get fixed later down the road. So the positioning of that light isn't just right. But we can see that it does light up. It's not a rotating beacon light like we've seen in the past with airplanes. I love the snow-capped mountains in the background. That's something I was really wondering how they were going to do at low levels like this, and this shot really shows that it's done really well. Like I said, we're talking about payware quality stuff here right out of the box. Moving along to the next shot, here we are with the Citation CJ4. This confirms, yes, business jets will be in the sim right out of the box. I love this shot. It looks like they're flying over maybe near Las Vegas or something from what the topography looks like there. Look at the lighting. That's something that's like a painting, like an oil painting. It looks so beautiful that we see in real life when we have multiple cloud layers. And here it just shows you, that haze layer where it's located. But look at it in the distance. Like the draw distance is just so far away that it looks so realistic. It's crazy. And I'm personally excited about the CJ4. I've always wanted a Citation CJ2 / CJ4, that style. I'm glad they went with that instead of like the X or something. So it's not an airplane I expected, honestly. I was not expecting them to have this airplane in the sim. And here is a cool shot of it in a right-hand turn. The editing of the trailer, it bounces back and forth to the music of different landscapes underneath it. And you're going to see here in just a few moments it changes just like that. So we can see the different lighting on it. And you can just see, look at the detail. And there's a reason why these are so detailed. And we'll get into that here in a little bit after we finish out the trailer. Here it is flying over a beautiful landscape here. It looks like it might be somewhere in Europe. Not really sure. Not going to speculate. Here we are flying over the mountains. Look at the attention to detail here. Now, what we see in this shot is that the trees at a distance on the left look great. On the right-hand side, you can see how blocky they are. And that's good. I like seeing these things because I go, wow, okay, that's sim. That's a thing I can go, okay, I'm in a sim. It's not a real picture. It looks like a real picture, but it's a sim. And I absolutely love this. This shot here is awesome. We can see that the coral reef underneath there is a little blurry, but look at how crisp those white caps are on top with the ocean water. That looks awesome. I love the multiple colors and how they do that. It's like a mask around the edge, and how the changing of the color of the ocean is so seamless. It's absolutely amazing. And I love the different waves, the levels of waves we've seen. That shows that there's a lot going on with the ocean and the water, and maybe we'll see more of that later down the road. But, if you're a float plane flyer, that's going to be something that you've been waiting for a long time, because X-Plane doesn't do a great job of that. Here's a shot here. We are flying somewhere. I don't know where. Might be, I don't know. But we're looking at the left-hand wing of the Airbus A320neo, and we can see just how detailed that is. One thing that's cool about this shot is that it looks like they know that a lot of people want wing views. Maybe these are pre-set wing views. We don't know what the camera system's like yet. And here it is to the beat of the music changing. And one thing that you're noticing immediately is that you're not getting those, with this kind of satellite imagery, something we deal with currently, like an X-plane, Ortho for XP and things like that, is the clouds, get caught in those shots. And you can see that that's not the case. It knows to just eliminate that. And we're not seeing that on those mountains at all. Here's another shot here. It looks like we're in London or something, making that left-hand turn. And next comes the TBM once again, making its beautiful entrance with the dark clouds in the background. And I love this shot of the 3930 because once it gets to us, we get a real close shot on that lighting. And look at how the lighting works. When your camera's up close to it like this, we're seeing individual flashes of things here. Or we're seeing that individual light of the nav light. But at a distance, we can see it emitting out much further, which is really cool. And I love that because it shows the attention to detail on the lighting like that. And I'm blown away. Look at this shot. Absolutely gorgeous. Flying over a very famous river, I'm sure. It's either the Niagara or something else. But that looks beautiful. I don't know where this is located. I'm just guessing. But absolutely stunning at these altitudes looking down. You're going to feel like you're actually over the world. And the most remote remote areas are going to look just as good as the places that we know. Look at that. Got a volcano shot there. That looks like it might be in Hawaii or something. That looks absolutely gorgeous. Or Vesuvius. I don't think it's Vesuvius. I don't know. Moving on, we got this shot. I mean, just look at this. We've seen so many cool shots. This kind of looks like you're looking at Mars. We've seen so many cool shots of the Earth. You're going to get to explore the Earth. And I don't think a lot of people really have grasped that yet because, we're so used to having the whole globe to fly to in our current flight simulators today. And it seems like such a easy thing to say, wow, you can really explore the world. No, you can't. You're not going to see what is really actually there in real life. And you're now going to get to do that. So the guys that want to do around the world flights, it's going to be an unforgettable experience to do that. Flying over. I love this shot. This is the time-lapse shot. It looks like, I don't know where this is located at. Definitely not in Australia, I don't think. But regardless, we're seeing the cloud shadows here and just how alive that the atmosphere is. You can see the updrafts. You can see how these clouds are being formed. And we have a true to life, like live atmosphere. And I'm so excited to fly in it. I really am. Left-hand side out the 172. That's a classic shot there. And I do like this, and I hope that this has been kind of adjusted. A lot of airplanes currently with the GA scene, say a 172, by default, your view is so far above the left wing. And in real life, it's not. You just kind of look off to the left. You might have to hunch down if you're a tall guy like me. But I like that you're seeing right underneath the wing here. It looks great. And we can see another remote area and all these remote areas. And I think this is what they really wanted to show you, was that the remote areas are going to be just as detailed as, places that you would expect to be, default scenery in quotation marks. We can see those tree lines being brought to life based on that AI. That looks amazing. I love this shot here. I don't know where that's located at, but that's gorgeous. And that's something you see if you fly commercially, you fly GA, whatever. You've seen the different landscapes that are around just one state in the United States or wherever you live. Absolutely amazing to see, that. So here we are greeted at Ayers Rock. This is in Australia for sure, but we can see the star field, and we're seeing a time lapse of the sun coming up, and we see those stars moving as they should. We can see those clouds are dissipating, and here comes the sun. And you're going to see here, doot and doo-doo, but you're going to see right here that sun. When it comes up, man, it right over that horizon, it lights those babies up. And they turn pink, and they look beautiful and brilliant. And as it comes up, we can just see that lighting, and they're really showcasing that sun and how it affects the world around you. That is just absolutely awesome. Here we are flying acrobatics. And right here, you're going to see what we were talking about before. We're seeing those polygons. We're seeing those, what you can now see as a sim and how it does, the rock formations. You're not going to notice this kind of stuff when you're, in a tube liner flying around, or you're, making an approach into a big airport. If you're low level flying, you will notice it. But perhaps that's a caching issue. Maybe that's, something it's pulling that data in and it's waiting to get higher detail. I don't know. If you have an offline mode and you're flying offline mode, maybe you'll have that taken care of. We don't know. We can't speculate really too much. Looking at the buildings, you can see how they're kind of deformed and all that, because it's taking that satellite imagery and it's building the building on top of it and building the mesh, and it's a 3D thing. But we're seeing here a lot of the deformities that we saw originally. This personally does not bother me because I'm not going to notice it. Flying the speeds I'm flying at, going point A to point B or something like that. If I'm way down on the ground, then I'm going to notice it. This shot I really love because it shows, the different buildings in the world, and we're seeing how it builds those meshes of those individual buildings, because every building is basically true to life, has been modeled. And we're seeing that in this shot. I love the shot here because we're seeing these rocks and we're seeing this sand and gravel here. And you can see the beach down there. That is just such a beautiful, beautiful shot. And one thing you're noticing in these shots, if you really pay attention, look at the motion of the waves of the ocean. You can see those ripples, and you can see they're actually in motion, and you're seeing them crash against the beach. That is so cool. Here's another shot of the nose as we're making that turn. And you can see just how different the color of the water is. This is dark, and look, we're going to back it up here. Look at the reflection of the clouds on the water. Absolutely amazing. And they're showing us these shots here, and that's because they want to show you the flight dynamics. You can see this airplane is losing speed, and it's starting to fall over a little bit here, kind of like a hammerhead. And you can see how fluid it is and how it moves around. There's a nice shot of an airport over there. And then here we are over a beach. Looks like a bunch of little bungalows and stuff like that. And they look 3D from here. So here's a shot of Statue of Liberty in New York City. You're going to see the bridges over there. And you'll notice there are some in these current trailers, there's a lack of bridges. Now, they know this and they are working on this. Remember, we're looking at pre-alpha footage here. But they do plan to model a lot of the bridges. And you got to realize that they're going to have to 3D model some of these for sure if they're going to nail them. I love these shots of the clouds, forming, and you could just see how that sunlight as it goes down, what it's doing, what it's changing. There's something about the lighting in this that just screams to you real life. And another thing you're noticing here is we got little boats. I was wondering how if the boats were going to be static, if they're going to sit out there, because, maybe they're taking it from satellite imagery. But it doesn't look to be the case. It looks like it's AI and it's actually moving around, that we can see there. And we see a few boats there in that shot. Here's the Diamond Twin, and she's out flying over some awesome landscapes, with the huge lake in the background. Gorgeous shot of, just a normal day. Here we are, another shot, and we're seeing various stages of, there's nothing to say anymore other than just, wow. It's absolutely incredible. I love how we're seeing different colors in one lake. You see the dark colors in the deep channels, and you're seeing how light the colors get on the shorelines. Beautiful. I love that shot right there. As it's making its left-hand turn, now we get another shot here in the evening time, and I really love how the evening is done. And there's another beautiful shot right there. Wow. Absolutely awesome. Just stunning stuff. And they're just showing you, no place looks the same. Here's a shot we get on the left-hand side. You'll see over there the airport. And one thing I noticed immediately on this shot was that the airport light. So if you don't know, if you're new to flight simulation or you're new to aviation, that green light over there, that's indicating an airport. It's green and white, and those have been in Sims forever. But the problem was the lighting was always so blown out. You could see, airports from miles and miles away, and that's not how it is in the real world. Sometimes it's very difficult to find an airport because it's not lit up like a Christmas tree. And here we are agreed with that shot, and it looks very realistic. So I love the night lighting that we're seeing at these airports. On the right-hand side of things, we're seeing just how beautiful that sunset is and how it casts right over all that water. They knew what they're doing in that shot. Here's a beautiful shot of a very high altitude. I can't tell if we're over a Cirrus cloud layer. I think we are, and we're looking down through it, but you can see the low-level fog and all that down in those mountains, and that's just a beautiful, beautiful shot there. Yeah, that is Cirrus Clouds. Okay, so we are descending through the Cirrus Clouds, and here's the great reveal. They're showing you over, snow-capped mountains here, and look at how sharp those snow-capped mountains are. I love the attention to detail we've seen in the very beginning of the last trailer of how reflective all the surfaces are on the airplanes, and you can see on this tail of the 747, wow. Absolutely beautiful. Nice shot of the NG engines on the 748. And wow, I mean, the modeling on this thing is incredible. And you can even see the heat blur really well through there. It's not overdone or anything. It's very subtle. Looks very nice. And as it makes its left-hand turn, we can kind of see that flap around moving a little bit. But here's another shot here. Looking at the cockpit. I love that we have pilots in there. That's something that I've always missed in a lot of airplanes and X-Plane is that we didn't have pilots in the actual airplanes. So here he is. Here they are showing off the 748, and it looks absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. I love the attention to detail of every little thing on that airplane. That is just crazy. And the final shot here, this is something I really love to see because if you've flown IFR in real life, you've flown commercially, you've seen these style of clouds, these kind of rolling wave-looking clouds on an overcast day, and we're seeing that down there. So before, in the previous shots, we were seeing just like, kind of the same looking clouds just being layered very, very well. Here they're showing like a very different style of cloud, and I'm excited to see the different styles that are out there because my God, they have nailed this, and it just shows. It really shows. And we're seeing right there, I love that beacon light. Look at the color of the beacon light. I know I'm a light nerd, but look at the coloring of that. That looks so realistic. It looks so, so good. So, there we are. Microsoft Flight Simulator. So some things I wanted to talk about, some talking points here, is that during the demo at X019, one thing that was standing out, we had some people that were able to get some hands-on with it, were able to come to the AvSim forums and talk a little bit about it. And the number one thing is that mostly all the people at X019 were like, wow, this thing, the visuals on this thing are absolutely stunning. Like they're amazing. So that's one of the biggest takeaways that we've seen. We also know that it's confirmed Orbix has nothing to do with this at all. So the speculation of Orbix being involved is not. This is them doing what they do best, and that's making this simulator. We know that the 747 is close to the real thing, and what they're really trying to do is put away that whole default airplane versus a study level airplane. I'm not a big fan of the word study level or whatever. I think there's a stigma that comes behind those words. However, they're working very, very diligently on these airplanes. They're working with the actual manufacturers. They have partnerships with the aircraft manufacturers. This is huge for a flight simulator. If you're going to get a default airplane in the sim, this is massive. And the reason why I say that is because, you've got partnerships right now confirmed with them is Airbus, the Boeing company, Cub Crafters, Daher. You've got Diamond Aircraft Industries. I forget how you say the icon, but Array Icon, Robin, Textron Aviation, and that list is going to grow. And that's what they said. They said, we're going to grow this list. It's going to be absolutely awesome to have partnerships. And what does partnerships really mean when you think about it? So with partnerships, this means that they're going to have certified drawings of the airplanes. This is the reason why these look so accurate. They have worked with these manufacturers of these airplanes. So they're getting the actual certified drawings. They have this, the actual dimensions of these airplanes. They're getting access to the test pilots. So you have test pilots actually using this simulator, and they're expressing this is how the airplane really behaves. This is huge to have partnerships because they didn't have that in the past, and it showed. You're not going to get a realistic experience. Now, what does this mean for a manufacturer? Well, it's a lot. It means they got a lot invested into this because maybe they want to bring this sim into their level D sims or whatever they want to use for, pilot training in the future. We don't know. So that's really, really cool to have a partnership with actual aircraft manufacturers. I can't say that enough. Another thing is that we have 3 levels of flight models. Okay, so the 3 levels of flight models, those include easy, medium, and hard. So you have easy, you have medium, you have hard, and I like that. I'm gonna go to hard immediately, of course, and fly that way. But I'm actually really excited the fact that that's there because you want it accessible to people that are brand new. That's something that is very difficult for people that are brand new to aviation. It's daunting. It's not an easy thing to just jump into. You got to really put the time and effort into practicing and learning aviation. So having those, accessible to you, I think that's a great thing. We know that the night lighting is absolutely incredible. We've seen it in the shots in the previous trailer, in this trailer. We know night lighting's awesome. ATC will be in the simulator. It's currently not in a playable state. It's not in the alpha build they have right now. And I don't know if it's going to be for the Tech Alpha either, but ATC is coming. It will be in the simulator, which is absolutely awesome. Real live AI traffic. To me, this is a huge one. This is an absolutely amazing thing, is that we're going to have real life traffic on real life schedules. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. We've seen it in, X-Plane 11 as a free add-on for live traffic, but their actual traffic is going to be based off of real live AI or traffic schedules. So that's actually awesome. These are things that are confirmed. I know I'm talking fast because I'm trying to make this a little less long, a little less than last time. That's for certain. Time zones have been corrected. They will be depicted correctly, so that's good to know. Flight dynamics are smooth and very different from previous simulators. This is a huge one, and we could tell in the first sim trailer, and we could tell in this trailer that the flight dynamics are way different, and I'm excited for that. Another thing we can take away is that the sound is really well done. If you haven't checked out, I'll have it linked as well in the description below. IGN released gameplay of this, and it has the sound. Sounds amazing. It looks stunning. You've got to go check it out to see this sim in action, actual gameplay from somebody flying in the simulator. So sound is really well done, like the sound of, rain hitting it, etc. So one thing is that they haven't talked about is seasons, and I can understand that. It's going to be very difficult for them to get the seasons with the way that satellite imagery kind of works. So if they figure something out later down the road, I'm all ears. I don't care. That's not a game breaker for me. In VR, I think is something that will come down later down the road as that technology gets better and better and better. I don't think we'll see it on day one. I really don't. So what does all this mean? So there's a lot to take away from, them showing off the 748, at the very end right here, is that this 747 is not going to be just something you can jump in and go. It can if you want it to be. But this is going to be an airplane that hasn't included FMC. That's confirmed. They're really trying to give you an out-of-box experience this time around, and I love that. I absolutely love it. They do not want you to spend extra money if you don't have to, if you don't want to. They're saying, you know, you can go out there to a third-party developer. There's no reason why the airplanes that they have included in the simulator should not, be a mirroring image of the real-world thing, because they're working with them. You know, they have the partnerships. That's a big, big, big key here in the information we've been given here at X019. So that's huge. They want you to have an amazing out-of-box experience. It seems like that will be the case. So I'm super stoked. You know, we've got the whole Tech Alpha coming up. That's coming up real soon. I can't wait to get my hands on it and fly it. I'm sure I'll be under an NDA. I can't discuss it or anything like that. But regardless, it's a simulator that I've always wanted, and I know that you guys have wanted it too. And it's on its way. It's on its way to us. So nothing but awesome things to come. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all next time. Take care.